I'm doing this video again, even though I didn't upload the first one I did because it was just too long, and I don't have no time to wait for it to upload because I got other things to do. So I'm making a shorter version of what I was gonna put up earlier. So I was watching a video of this dude who was basically just going over what had been happening for the past year or two in his life. Um, and he didn't give any specifics as to what kind of stuff, but it ended up being fucked up shit. Um, and for some reason, it made me think about my own fucked up shit, while at the same time, you know, I guess somewhat. I don't even want to say I wasn't in awe because that's one of the points I'm gonna go over in this video. Um, and I don't take this as a bad thing or a good thing, because I don't care which one it is, honestly. Um, I'm first off, I'm bipolar. Second off, well, actually, I've been bipolar probably for a very long time, like a good chunk of my life, and just didn't. Nobody paid attention well enough to check for all the symptoms I was having, even as like a teenager, like 13 years old. I just got diagnosed. What was that, about just short of a year ago now, or actually just over a year ago now. Um, when I take my pills regularly, I take them. I take them bitches faithfully. And I am not a faithful person. I mean, I'm using that just to make a point, I guess, to paint a picture that I take them things every day, and it actually has. And I don't, and I let go of the weed because the psychiatrist said it can get away of the calibration period of the medicine, and even once it's calibrated, it can mess with it anyway, make you paranoid as shit. Um, I still don't care. I go to work as a technical support agent for a company that will remain nameless, and I don't give a fuck about those people. Even the ones that are calling up with that generally people would see as a good reason. I hang up on people, the ones like that piss me off. I've been working there for 2 years. I've seen people get let go for doing that same thing once. I've done it I don't know how many times within the 2 years I've been working there. Because I just don't care anymore. When I came out to the um, one set of people and then one individual person, I got emotionally stomped. My soon-to-be ex-wife, in a matter of weeks, that paperwork's already filed. She said I'm being chased by a demon, and that comes from her background in going to church, even though she hasn't been to church in I don't know how long, except for the times where I used to beg her to go. And let me make a side note. I'm no longer a religious or spiritual person. I figure that stuff to be bullshit. I don't really care what anybody else's opinion of it is. Um, so I was Christian. And oddly enough, there have been some Christians that have been more understanding of me coming out than my own wife, who really doesn't have anything to do with it. I shouldn't say my own wife, that person. And my parents, who are homophobes, my mother tried to justify using the word faggot vicariously, or I shouldn't say, she tried to justify it for my dad, who's been using that word since I was a kid, and who probably wonders why I never talked to him about it. It's like, because you call people like me faggots. Um, I think about going to another job because I'm introverted as fuck, and I don't want to go. And people say, well, nobody wants to go to work. I don't fucking care about any of it. This is like, I'm on my way to there now. I'm on my way there now. This is like Um, like if this were in comparison to studying, this would just be rote memorization. I don't like this. I don't want to. I'm programmed. Society says, even though I don't like society in general, says that I have to. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to talk to people, with the exception being my kids, the only exception. And I thought the pills are supposed to get rid of the chemically not caring, which I don't know. I don't feel any. I don't feel any of the symptoms that I was. A little pinch of anxiety now and then, and then it goes away. But I don't fucking care. No matter what perspective I take it from, I don't care. From a perspective of a compassionate person, maybe when I was going to church, or even before that, long before that, I could take somebody's bad attitude and say there's something that's going on in your life that's making you lash out at other people who aren't involved in it, and I can move on amicably and treat them with compassion and respect and the love that I used to think that human beings deserve, generally speaking. Now I don't really give a fuck about that, except for when it comes to my kids. And that's probably the only reason why I'm going to work. And I know it's the only reason why I'm still alive. And I don't mean alive as in like health or some weird shit. Like, I would have killed myself had I not had kids right now. I'd already be dead. And I already had a plan too. Honestly, it was a plan of morphine. I knew where to get it. I had access to it. I had the money for it. And then when I was about, at the point where, payday was coming along and I was gonna go get it, like I ended up getting an appointment to get the meds that I'm on right now. So even though that was true at the then, like true that I had the plan to do it and the date, it's not true now. But I still don't give a fuck. Another thing that's fucked up is my uncle just passed. And I don't even have much feeling about that. I know it's not good. And in the video that I made yesterday, I made it seem like more. But it's not. And I think that may be just a societal thing to make it seem like it's more because that's what other people would do. I don't think it's good. And the main reason is because he was the kind of guy, he didn't miss a day at the gym. He was 60 years old when he passed of a stroke. But he was in the kind of shape that you would think like a 35-year-old bodybuilder would be in. Like in the off season when they don't, when they're not all sucked up and dry. He was in great shape. And he's dead. But the guy that is my father, he still smokes and drinks. Been smoking since what? I don't know, like 17, and drinking since I don't know when. I don't really care to know. He's still alive and kicking in his mid-60s. So that just goes, I guess, to what a person that I knew in the military said, and I was in the military. But no, there's no such thing as a fair fight, and I'm not going to go over that person's job or anything. Name nothing. But what's going on? What I just talked about with my uncle and my dad, like one being alive and one not be, that just lets me know that's the truth. There's nothing fair in this life, and maybe it's just the point that not even my individual life is at. Generally, life on Earth is at. It is not fair. Maybe it could be that way if things were different. I don't know, but I am not in a position to completely revamp things the way I think that they should be in my eyes, or whatever the fuck, or whatever's the best for everyone. So I don't fucking like this shit. I can't wait to fucking die. I'm planning on going on a juice fast because I'm fat as fuck. And I still have that same feeling. Like I can't wait. Like I can't fucking wait. This is fucking bullshit. And people will continue to say, just go to a different job. there's other things. Yeah, there's other things. But when I think about going to other things, I feel the same exact way. And I found out 2 days ago that my aunt passed. Someone that I was purposely kept away from. To what extent that I don't know, but I know I was. Because my father doesn't think much of of her, or didn't while she was alive, and didn't much of my uncle while he was alive. Even though he says he loves them and forgives them for whatever. I don't believe that shit for a second. Um, I don't know. Like I hope every day that they fire me from this job, and my supervisor said, I understand because you want the unemployment. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the unemployment. Not one fucking bit. Just because I can't get myself to quit. Like I'm at it. Like I'm fucking done. The next person, and this is a warning to anyone, and disclaimer: I am not a gangster. I've never been a gangster. I am not affiliated with any gang of any type. I don't affiliate myself with people who are like that. I can respect the history of like Bloods and Crips because I know what their beginnings were. I am not affiliated with that shit. But there's one thing that is absolutely the case now that I wish um, um, wasn't the case, and I've had to soul search a lot to think about these things and to meditate on them and whatever else. It's that 100% truth. If somebody comes up to me um, at the point that I'm at now with either racist stuff or bigotry based upon my bisexuality, I'm going to do everything in my power to end your life. And people will say, well, this is premeditated murder now. Something does happen. I don't give a fuck. It's either I'll get away with it when it happens or I won't. And if I know I'm in a situation where I won't, I'll call the fucking cops myself. I've just fucking had it. The bipolar disorder, even with the pills, makes it hard to focus. Even with the pills, as I stated plenty of times, I don't care. I don't know if it's chemically not caring still because I don't feel the same at all as when I was not on pills. I just need to heal, quite honestly. I don't think working is going to help that shit. And that's not lazy. I know people are going to say that's lazy, but in the military, I worked on helicopters. So you can neither be lazy or stupid as a helicopter maintainer. And actually, I got my first, 3 promotions, 6.5 months early. So I put in the work. Bipolar disorder took over pretty much. And then I started having trouble focusing. And I had started a lot. I used to call it boring, but it's an understatement. I just don't. I stopped giving a fuck. The demotivation that bipolar does to people. It made me fat because I didn't want to do anything. And actually, some of the other pills that I've taken in the past, that was one of the side effects. I find my soon-to-be ex-wife, to be quite fucking honest, Outside of the simple ass job that we have to do that either of us has to do at work, fucking mediocre. I'm not saying I'm not a judge of someone's like full character. What I'm saying, I guess, this is in relation to me wanting to be with someone. But maybe it is partly in general. No ambition, at least to me. Emotionally unavailable on purpose. So I'm about fucking at it. And quite honestly, I don't give a fuck if they fire me at work. Fuck them. The only two people I have that are to whatever extent that it is, because I've never asked and I'm not going to, that are like for me or on my side or are understanding or try to understand or whatever the case may be. There's my immediate supervisor and her immediate supervisor. One of which is a veteran, one of which is an openly gay person. I'm not going to see them forever. And on top of that, they're supervisors, so they feel they have to keep a professional distance between me and themselves, probably. I don't understand that shit either. It's not their fault. It's just society teaching bullshit. I'm fucking tired. I'm sorry, I'm looking around at stuff because I I used to like music, and I'll show this. I don't know if anybody knows, but that's a treble clef. I started playing music in grade school, like elementary school, upright bass, cello, viola. Even though I didn't like viola very much. But I love music. I don't really care now. And again, this is me on the pills, and I still don't care. I mean, I don't really care about much at all. I liked my weed. I love that shit. Still like it, even though I'm not smoking it. I know what it feels like. I know what it smells like and tastes like. Um, um, but I like that. Outside of my kids, it's probably the only thing that I do like. I've gone so long. I went so long without, and this is going back to the sexuality thing. I just gone so long without. Um, I went so long rather without being able to express myself. I think that fucked me up in the head too. And I was even told by somebody when I was, I've been, and just for the sake of not even a conversation, I've been locked up in a VA psych ward 3 times on a legal hold. So if nobody knows what that is, I had a bipolar meltdown, which is not the technical term, but that's what I'm using. And they locked me up legally. So if I had like tried to escape from there, which I had multiple plans in my head how to do it, and they would have succeeded, they just would have called the cops and kept looking for me until they caught me and brought me right back in for my 72-hour stay, or longer, which at that point would have been much longer. Um, I don't give a fuck no more. I don't fucking care. Like, I just don't. I've said things over the internet and in text message to people in my family while I'm having bipolar episodes that have alienated them from me, except for one person. And I actually, um, I'm gonna correct myself. There's one other person that I can speak to, but that is long ways away, and that's my cousin. And I'm not gonna name her either. Well, she has her own thing. She has her own mental problems. She has her own life to live, and obviously the world's not so fond of gay people, so she's dealing with that as well, from family and outside. Um, Fucking soon to be ex-wife, I offer, say, to, hey, let's grow some vegetables till we don't have to pay for them. I can make it so that we pay, it's pennies to the dollar for the same things that we normally would buy. No reciprocity, no care, no support, no nothing. Only complaints and bullshitty comments. And then my parents want me to move to Pennsylvania with them because me and the soon-to-be ex are having money problems because I've missed a lot of work because of the bipolar disorder, and they know it, and they want me to move with them. And most people are going to say, well, that's awesome. They want to get a house and let you live there with your family. No, because they're homophobes. So I have to live with someone who wants to micromanage my life that's a homophobe. And I'm not going to do it. I'd rather be homeless and or dead. So I guess the conclusion is I'm just done. Nobody can appreciate me for who I am. So fuck it. I wish somebody did. I don't know what else to say.